In the early 1900s, the town of Van Meter, Iowa wasn't known for much. A few streets, a handful of businesses, the kind of place where everyone knows when something is out of place. And that's exactly what made the sightings impossible to ignore. I wasn't there back then, but I didn't need to be, because what I saw happened in the same place. Over a century later, I had gone there out of curiosity. Honestly, I had read about the old reports, strange lights, something moving across rooftops, something that didn't behave like any animal people recognized. Most of it sounded exaggerated. Stories tend to grow over time, but the town itself didn't feel like it was hiding anything. Quiet, ordinary, almost too ordinary. I was staying just a short walk from the old business district where most of the original sightings had been reported. That night I couldn't sleep. Not because anything felt wrong, because everything felt too still. No cars, no voices, no distant noise. Just that kind of silence that makes you aware of every small movement. I remember getting up and stepping outside, thinking the air might help. The street was empty, the buildings dark, nothing unusual, until I looked up. There was something on the rooftop across the street. At first, I thought it was a shadow, a trick of the angle, but then it moved. Not walking, not crawling, a short, uneven shift, like it was adjusting its position rather than traveling. And then I saw something else, a faint glow, not lighting the area, just existing, near its head, small, focused. And that's when I stopped trying to explain it, because whatever it was, it didn't match anything I could name. I didn't call out, didn't move closer. Something about the way it held its position made that feel like the wrong choice. So I stayed where I was, across the street, watching. It shifted again, slightly this time, like it was adjusting its balance or the edge of the roof. The movement wasn't fluid, but it wasn't clumsy either. It felt deliberate, like every motion had already been decided before it happened. The faint glow near its head pulsed once, not brighter, just present in a different way, and then something changed. Not in it, in the street. A light turned on down the block, then another. A door opened somewhere behind me. I heard a voice, low, uncertain, someone else stepping outside. I wasn't the only one awake. I didn't turn around, but I knew people were starting to notice. That's when it reacted. Its head lifted slightly, not toward me, past me, toward the rest of the street, toward the people. And for the first time, I still understood something I hadn't considered before. This wasn't a hidden thing. It wasn't avoiding being seen. It was allowing it. The glow near its head sharpened for a second, like a narrow beam forming and collapsing at the same time, not shining outward, contained, focused. Then it crouched, not like an animal preparing to jump, more like something compressing into itself, reducing, and in one sudden motion, it was no longer on the rooftop. There was no leap, no fall, no sound, just absence, like something removed from the frame. I finally looked down the street. Two people were standing outside their homes, both looking up, both frozen in place. No one said anything, no one asked, because all we understood the same thing at the same time. We hadn't imagined it. No one spoke that night, no, not on the street, not the next morning. It wasn't agreement, it was avoidance, like saying it out loud would turn it into something we'd have to deal with. I left the town later that day, told myself it was just curiosity satisfied, something strange, witnessed and done. But before I left, I stopped by the small local museum, nothing official, just a quiet place with old photos, newspaper clippings, and records from the early 1900s. I wasn't expecting to find anything clear, just fragments, but one clipping caught my attention. It described the same rooftops, the same area, the same kind of sighting. A figure moving above the buildings, and then one detail I hadn't thought about since the night before. A light, described almost the same way, small, focused, near the head. I stood there longer than I meant to, reading it again and again because it wasn't just similar, it was exact, same place, same behavior, same detail, over 100 years apart. That's when something shifted in the way I understood it. This wasn't a rare event. It wasn't a coincidence. Wasn't even something that had returned. It had never left. We just don't notice it most of the time, or maybe we're not meant to. I left the museum and didn't look up again, not at the rooftops, not at the edges of the buildings, but that wasn't the part that stayed with me. It was something smaller, something quieter. That light, the way it didn't illuminate anything around it, the way it stayed contained, focused, and the more I thought about it, the more it felt wrong, because light is supposed to reveal things. That's what it does, but that one didn't. It didn't show anything. If anything, it felt like it was hiding something. And for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about what might be there if that light ever turned outward.